Hi guys, it's KP here. Glad you're all watching another video of mine. Now today, I'm going to be talking about how did Arsenal season go in my own opinion. Um, there's been a lot of talk about the season that just ended and a lot of talk about Arsenal season, another year without a trophy and so on. But you know what actually? I do not think it was a bad season at all. I thought it was another season where Arsenal gave a lot of hope to us fans. Another year where they have made progress, but not in the Premier League, but in the Europe. Reaching the semi-finals of the Champions League is no easy task, but Arsenal did that. If I just look at Arsenal's overall season, the fact the matter is that let's be honest. We had a lot of injuries throughout the season, and that hampered our chances of winning the Premier League. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make those silly excuses. Oh, because of the injuries, we did not go and win the Premier League. The fact the matter is, number one, when you have injuries, you should have backups. And unfortunately, we just did not have that kind of a quality for a backup to be, to keep up, our main team players who were out injured, to match that kind of quality. Secondly, you know, we had no strikers, a genuine striker, I mean. And when you do not have that, again, you cannot, when it comes to big games or certain games, you're going to be found out. And, if you're going to win big trophies, then you need all those bases covered. We did not have any kind of replacements or proper replacement for our injury issues that we had. And that's something that we could have sorted out in the transfer market, but we never did that. And secondly, our striker issues. We just could not solve those issues. And when you have players who are not genuine strikers and they're doing a striker role, it's just not going to work. So look, all in all, I think our Premiership campaign degraded while the season went on. There was some point in the season there was a chance you would have thought, oh look, you know what, Arsenal were well in this title race. But let's be honest, Liverpool won the title race few months back than they actually were crowned the champions. Because the fact the matter is, you know, 2, 3, 4 months back, I'd say probably 2, 3 months back, you knew the Premiership was going to Liverpool, and there was no way back for Arsenal. People say it's a two horse race, but to be fair, it was only one horse race, and that was only Liverpool who were going, were winning the Premiership hands down. And that's just the way it was. So I think it was disappointing for Arsenal, far as our Premiership campaign was concerned. I do not think we made any kind of strides forward. We still finished second, the second best team still in the Premier League, but we just couldn't mount that type of challenge like we did the previous 2 seasons before. So it was actually a backward step, but all in all, still finished second, but still not good enough because we haven't made that further progress. But on the plus side, I think Arsenal's Champions League campaign was amazing. I thought we played really, really well as a unit. I think those Declan Rice strikes against Real Madrid lifted not just the whole of Arsenal as a football club, but as fans and everyone. And when you do those kind of heroics against that kind of opposition, we outplayed them at home and we outplayed them in Madrid as well. And, those kind of performances really, really show you what Arsenal can do when they're really, really on it. And that performance against Madrid, home and away, genuinely made me feel we were going to go all the way. Obviously, that prediction, I I got it wrong that we would go and win the Premier League. I'm sorry, the Champions League, and it never happened. But oh well, that one of those things that just happened. But we made progress. So again, there was that hope. Oh look, we've reached the semi-finals. We could go all the way. So look, Arsenal were amazing. I think in the Champions League. Unfortunately, just not good enough in the semi-final. And you know, these things happen. Again, it's just the way we need to improve. So how do I see that a season just ended as an Arsenal fan? Uh, am I happy? I'd say yes and no. Am I satisfied? No. Because not just genuinely because of the performance, I just feel that in the transfer market and so on, we will need to genuinely get genuine strikers and also have backup for potential injuries. It's a long Premier League season. And when you have injuries like Arsenal did, which did hamper us, but again, no excuse, you need to have backups. So I think those things we got completely wrong in the season, and those things that need to improve. And far as the performances on the pitch, we need to be a bit more stronger, and we need to win games of Premier League when opportunity rises. You know, it's just simple as that. So I just really hope in the Premier League we get the consistency regularly. So that consistency is good enough to go all the way in towards of winning the Premier League or seriously challenging to win the Premier League, something that we failed this season. And yeah, Premier League, I'm satisfied, but again, I'm not fully satisfied because again we didn't go all the way, but I'm more happy that we reached the semi-finals in the Champions League and gave a great account of ourselves, where in the Premiership we were just lacking that killer instinct. So look, let's just see how it goes. I'm happy and not happy for various reasons, but it's onwards and upwards. Next season, let's just hope. And to those people who are saying Arteta out, you have got that completely wrong. Arteta has turned this Arsenal Football Club around in a way where he's genuinely made us as fans believe we can achieve. So let's be thankful for where we are now as a club prior to Arteta not being there. So let's be grateful. And secondly, to Tottenham and Man United fans, when you reach the final of the Europa League, one of you were going to win the Europa League and claiming you would have had a better season than Arsenal, trophy than Arsenal. It would have been it's a worthless cup. Arsenal reaching the semi-finals of the Champions League is much more greater than any of you guys winning the Europa League. And that's a fact. So that's all, guys. Take care.